It's 24 minutes to 8.
And you're listening to Morning Report, and let's talk roads and transport. There's a new 10-year funding package for Auckland transport to be released today by the Transport Minister, Phil Twyford. I think Phil Goff, the Auckland Mayor, is coming along too. Phil Twyford is with us before the announcement in our Auckland studio this morning. Kia ora, good morning to you.
Kia ora, Guy.
What can you tell us? There's two big new roads that are attracting some attention, certainly in the Herald today. One of them is the link between State Highway 1 and Whangaparoa. This has been on the cards for some time. The Penlink route that was in train, wasn't it, under the last government? So
in train, but nothing done. Both these, Mill Road and Penlink are two roading projects that are vital to support the really rapid greenfields housing expansion that's going on in the south and the north of the city. So the announcement today includes a lot of things, but these two roads are part of it. We're putting $500 million into Mill Road, which is going to take a lot of pressure off the Southern Motorway between Manukau and Drury.
$500 million into that?
Yeah, and $200 million into Penlink, which we're intending to do as a PPP. It's really perfectly designed as kind of a toll road, and that's going to make a big difference, alongside some improvements to the Northern Busway up there as well.
Okay, so let's unpick this, because it gets confusing for people who don't know the areas that well. Let's start with the Whangaparoa one. You're putting, what did you say, $200 million into that?
That's correct.
And it's a PPP with who? Like a public-private partnership?
Yep, it'll be put out to tender. We believe that there are investors who are interested in getting involved in that project. It's easily, because of the design of the road, it's easily tolled. That generates a revenue stream which it gets the project over the line. Without that, it probably wouldn't get over the line.
On a cost-benefit ratio analysis?
That's right.
Okay, so the private money would be likely from offshore, or
could well be.
Could be. You're open to that?
Yeah, we did PPP. The Labor government under Helen Clark did the Northern Gateway project as a PPP. Transmission Gully was done by the former government as a
okay, because you're open to that. Not so much in the schools and hospitals, but you're okay on the roads, right?
Absolutely.
All right. So that means that I would pay to use this road, right?
That's right.
Do we know roughly how much? Is it $1 a hit, or?
I don't think that work's been done. I would imagine it'd be more $2 or more, but that work hasn't yet been done. Okay,
so $200 million on that. Let's move to the south. You're taking us, where does that one go? That's Manukau Drury sort of way.
That's right. There's huge housing development going in the southern motorways. People will know at peak hour it's punishing. And this is a vital parallel route that will enable more housing growth in that southern corridor and allow the southern motorway to keep moving. And today we're also going to be announcing some big investments in rail, which will also take pressure off the roads.
Well, let's come to that just before we finish. When are these roads opening?
So we can't announce those dates today, but
roughly though, like are we talking 10 years?
They're going to happen within the next 10 years, but we'll get cracking on them straight away, and I would hope before very long we'll be able to give people some definite timeframes.
Right, but it might be up to 10 years before they open.
Potentially, but I doubt very much it would take that long.
Are these scaled down versions of what the last lot were promising us?
Well, the last lot spent $2 million on Mill Road in 9 years. We're about to spend $500 million.
What was slated on the books, though, for it?
It's a local road. It's always been part of this 10-year plan shared between Auckland Council and the government.
But what did they promise to spend on it?
They put out a press release in the election campaign promising to turn it into a 4-lane highway. But it was
considerably more cost than what you're spending.
It was unfunded and uncosted. We're actually going to do it, and we're going to spend $500 million on it. They spent $2 million in 9 years.
Yeah. How much of it's government money, though? How much on from the PPP?
Oh, in relation to Penlink or to Mill Road?
Penlink, because that's the only PPP, isn't it? Or are they both going to be PPPs?
Yeah, Penlink, we're looking at putting $200 million up for that, probably another $100 million through the PPP.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the light rail stuff then. What can you tell us ahead of the announcement about that, if anything?
So I think people know by now that it's our government's view that if we're going to seriously get ahead of the growth and ease the congestion on Auckland's roads, we have to build a modern rapid transit system. Light rail's going to play an important part in that, but we've also got the heavy rail and the Northern Busway. Together they form a network. And we'll be announcing today that we're going to be putting some serious money up for the rollout of a light rail line, possibly two.
What's serious money?
Oh, we'll have
You're
more to say
leaving that
about.
one?
We'll have more to say about that at midday.
All right, we'll listen out for that. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Do appreciate it. That's the Transport Minister, Phil Twyford. It's 19 minutes to 8 now.
The Green Party has decided to stand a candidate in the upcoming Northcote by-election. That'll be held in June. It was triggered by the resignation of National's Jonathan Coleman, who won the seat with a 9,000 vote majority at last year's general election. The Green Party's candidate, Rebekah Jaung, gained just 2,400 of the votes in September. We can talk with the Green Party co-leader Marama Davidson. She's in the Auckland studio. Good morning.
Morena.
Is this a strategic move?
Oh, we're an independent political party, and it's important for us to take this opportunity to talk about our positions on political issues.
So is that a strategic move? Yes, because you're wanting to differentiate yourself to the government?
I guess if that's what strategic is, yes, and particularly because the local branches, our local Greens, were very much in favour of standing in this election.
What about the argument that if you pull the votes on the left, you might have a greater chance of turning the blue seat red?
And that will be up to the voters, and that will be up to how we each run our political campaigns. But I think it's a sign of maturity in the government relationship when we can each stand, even as allies, in by-elections, which is quite a normal thing to do. We've done that before.
But I just wonder if you might have a bigger majority, for example. The government would have a bigger majority if it did gain the extra seat from National, which I guess if you're going to take 2,000 or so or more votes away from Labour, that makes it harder, doesn't it?
And again, that will be up to the voters. The Greens will be running a campaign to talk about the wins that we've already had in government. And it is important for voters to understand what are our independent political positions on the many issues facing people at the moment. There's housing, health on the North Shore, water, and those are the issues we'll be talking about.
And so is this about increasing the profile of the Green Party, apart from anything else, so that the minor party role in the government is not one that gets swallowed up by Labour, essentially?
It's absolutely important for the Green Party to stand in by-elections and take the opportunity. The outcome, if National retain the seat, won't change the current makeup of government. So it's an opportunity for us as a smaller party in a coalition arrangement to talk about what do we stand for? What do we want to help people? What do we want to help with the challenges that are facing people right now? Health, housing, transport and water will be some of those issues.
What if it's a tight race, though? And what if National retain the seat by the margin that is the Green Party vote? And
we can only run our campaign and give the voters that choice. All other political party campaigns will be up to them.
Yeah, have you spoken to Labour about this at all, though?
No, this decision was appropriate decision-making with the party processes, and so views gathered from all around the country, and eventually the executive of our party made that decision.
You don't see it as a way of the government essentially undermining itself?
Not at all. I think, again, it's a healthy sign of a healthy relationship that we can all stand and hold our independent campaigns.
What about your candidate selection? When is that likely to take place?
Yes, so of course we'll be wanting to select a candidate as soon as possible and hit the ground for our campaign. So we'll go through that process and hopefully announce a candidate very shortly.
What's very shortly?
I don't have that time frame, but of course we're wanting to go through all of our processes as quickly as possible so we can get a candidate confirmed.
Do you know if Rebekah Jaung, who stood last time, is she wanting to put her name forward again this time?
I don't have that confirmed either, and I won't preempt the process, but she may very well be interested in put her name forward.
Appreciate your time. Marama Davidson there, Green Party co-leader, speaking to us from Auckland. It's 14 to 8.
The Social Development Minister, Carmel Sepuloni, says an announcement on the promised overhaul of the welfare system can be expected in the next 3 to 4 weeks. Questions have been raised again about work and incomes culture and their processes following RNZ's story last week about a South Auckland mother who was told her benefit was to be cut because she'd been on 2 Tinder dates. The government isn't going into details about just how far this